Let's get it. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the SchuZ Show. I'm your host, SchuZ Schumaker. Joining me on today's show is a very special guest. He's a man that was on the show 5 years, almost to the day. Last time we came on the show was actually July 17th of 2020, and he's now one of the top players in the entire country. He's a man that's coming off of a massive year at Iowa State, where he's 2025, all Big 12 second-team selection, and that is none other than Joshua Jefferson. Joshua, appreciate you taking time to come back on again, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Well, as I just said, 5 years ago, almost to the day the last time you were on the show, and obviously a lot of things have changed for yourself, but now you're mid-season or mid-off-season right now, heading into your senior year. What's the off-season been like for yourself?
Just constantly working any way I
Right.
can, rehabbing my body, make sure I'm good for the season. Just went through a little wrist injury, but literally every day working on my left hand, so handles are getting tighter with that, and doing anything I can to stay in shape. So off season's been pretty good. Other than that,
You know, I want to ask about the wrist situation. Obviously, that's a place that we just saw the pictures come out a couple weeks ago. You know, you're at the race car thing, and obviously that was kind of very talked about online. Walk us through exactly what went down, how did this all come to be?
yeah, just a practice injury, playing defense, and then wrist got caught on my teammate's stomach, and then just like a tendon popped out or something. Don't really have the full name of it, but this was really precautionary, so no further work needed to be done on it. So it's been in a cast for 2 to 3 weeks, and then right back to the grind.
Coach Ott's kind of talked about the fact of what you just said there. You know, it's precautionary. So, do you expect to be back 100% then, just about a couple of weeks, especially by training camp?
Yes, sir. When we get back going in August, I'll be full go, back
Okay.
to playing and doing everything that the team's doing. So, yeah, just a quick little minor injury.
All right. Well, Josh, I want to get into, your college career because last time we talked, it was you were starting to blow up as a prospect and you're getting a lot of different recruiting offers and all the different things happening in high school. And so for those of you, I will have our old interview attached in the link below, but I want you to kind of go into this. I want to discuss your career since that standpoint because your high school career, you established yourself as one of the top recruits. Obviously, you're a three-star prospect. All the different things came to fruition. But when you're talking about that recruiting process, though, for yourself, when you chose St. Mary's, what was it about them that ultimately brought you there?
What brought me to St. Mary's was really the brotherhood that the players and the past players bring to the school. A lot of respect for Coach Bennett, and that was the big reason why I went there. Winning program, and I always want to be a part of winning programs. So it
Hmm.
felt like the right place for me at the time. And then they put a lot of development into me. I think I grew a lot as a player. That led to me having a really good year last year with the help of the Iowa State coaches. But St. Mary's is a really good spot for me for those 2 years, and give them a lot of credit for how far I came.
You talk about that winning nature about yourself. I've known you, like I said, since high school. You always won, whether that be in the AAU circuit, that be at high school. Now you can talk about college. Very successful your first 2 years at St. Mary's. Last year, incredible year as well. You are the definition of a winning player, in my opinion. Has that always just been naturally ingrained in you? When did you really start to develop that nature where you just always care about winning and you seem to always be a part of successful teams?
Growing up playing through AAU, I think I prided myself on winning a lot of games.
Mm.
Wasn't really too much into my personal success. As long as we won the game, I was happy. So growing up, all the way from third grade when I started this AAU journey, and then till now, it's always about winning as many games as possible.
You know, you've seen it. So many guys, especially when you're in the high school ranks, want to worry all about the personal stats, worry about accolades, and sometimes it works out. Obviously, some guys are able to do that. You've always excelled in making sure you find your role, and now it's coming to fruition where now you're in college. You know, you're a potential All-American candidate this upcoming year. Has that been something that you've been easy to adjust to, or what's it now been like as you've now become a guy that has this massive spotlight on you?
Yeah, I think coming into last year, I was just honestly just trying to make a name for myself, and then
Mm.
with the help of my teammates and my coaches, I think I did that in the right way. So this year, I'm kind of just trying to show everyone more of who I am as a player, expanding my game, getting better every single day, and trying to win as many games as possible. We know we have more goals this year than we did last year as a team. So new guys, but I'm real excited for this year and to put myself up there with the top of the top.
All right. We go into your family. You have a family of athletes. Your dad played in the NFL. Both your brothers have played collegiately in football. They've had great careers there as well. For yourself, though, you've chosen to go the basketball route. Why was that your choice?
Growing up, um, football wasn't really my thing. Playing in Vegas was really hot, so I
Yeah.
played football first and second grade. But it was really hot on them Saturday mornings at 8 a.m. and also took too long to score. And then uh, the football coaches at that time they started in the NYS league in Vegas, and then that's when I really started playing basketball. And then I think I fell in love with it a year later when I went to uh, um, Tarkanian Basketball Academy. I don't think they're around anymore, but that's where really my love for the game really started, and just getting better ever since then.
Still having that presence of your parents and your brothers being successful athletes, how much has that helped you as you've now grown and been able to learn from people that's been pros, that's been dealing with the college ranks? How's it helped you now from the mental standpoint, the preparation standpoint?
It's helped me tremendously with
Mhm.
brothers that's been through it, with a father that went through it as well, and even played at the highest level. They taught me so much from when I was a youth, and then I also learned a lot through their actions.
Mhm.
Just seeing them, see what they struggle with, seeing what really works for them. They've really helped me with my routine. Starting a routine my freshman year was really important, and they really put that into me early on. So just their guidance really helped me get to where I am today.
All right. So when you talk about yourself as a player, as I just said, you're a potential All American heading into this upcoming season. That's the type of player you are today. And but when we look back at your record coming out of high school, you were a three-star prospect, still pretty good. But obviously, I don't think a lot of people expect you to be this position. Even going back 1 year ago, you weren't ranked in the top 100 in terms of transfers. Has this always kind of put a chip on your shoulder, or how have you handled the way that the outsiders kind of evaluate you as a player?
Yeah, for sure. I think politics has always been a part of the game.
Hmm.
So the way you get around the politics is continuing to put in the work, and then when the spotlight's on, just continue to perform until someone notices you, and that's really kind of how it happens. And then Iowa State gave me the platform to really showcase my talents at a high level.
Hmm.
Towards the end of the season last year, we had a lot of guys go down, so it prompted me to show my game more and have to initiate more of the offense. So I think that was a preview into what this year's season would be. So really just honored to be mentioned as an All American candidate, like potential All American player. So speaks to the work that I put in and the work that I'm continuing to put in, because even though I'm up there, it's like I still haven't accomplished much. So I'm still trying to eat more and more and more.
If I were to have gone back when we did our last interview in 2020, I would have told you, hey, Josh, in 3 years, you're going to be a guy that's going to be all Big 10, all Big 12, sorry, second team selection and a potential All American. What would your reaction have been?
Um, feel like that's not good enough. I want to be first team.
All
Uh,
right.
I always wanted to strive for the highest achievements that I can. Well, I think my hardest critic is myself. I'm trying to get
Mhm.
better at that right now. I started getting a mental health coach, so that's really been helping me right now. Something that I'm doing off the court to get better as well. But
Mhm.
so if you had told me that a couple years ago, I would have been like, "There's still so much more you can do." I hold myself to such a high standard that I know I can accomplish so much. Just continue to put in the work.
Would you say that you knew you were going to be this good? I know obviously you said you would always want to accomplish more, but did you always have the belief in yourself that you're going to be able to accomplish the type of things that you're doing today?
Without a doubt.
Okay.
I knew just playing in high school, like even the guys that were ranked ahead of me, I was like, I'm better, if not better, or on the same level as all these guys. I just needed
Mhm.
someone to believe in me and give me the chance. So again, that's why I'm so thankful for Iowa State taking a chance on me last year and giving me the spotlight to showcase my talents.
I love stories like yours because so many guys are not going to be the top ranked, a five-star All American coming out of high school. So many guys do, and obviously there's still some All Americans that pan out perfectly. A lot of guys you end up having better careers than they even had now at this point. So I have to ask you, you could give advice to guys that are currently ranked in your position. What's your advice to them? Why should they be confident in themselves, even though they may not have accolades that they're wanting at that point in time?
Um, that is a marathon. I think the closest coaches in my life have always told me it's a marathon. It's not about how you start; it's about how you finish. And then a lot of times the kids that have the most hype out of high school, sometimes they don't always pan out.
Right.
So continue to put in the work when no one else is looking. Um, just constantly working because like you're never going to get anywhere in life if you're just being lackadaisical. So
Mhm.
I think that's really what I prided myself on. Like no matter how much success you have, there's always another level you can reach, or there's somewhere you can pivot and become an even better person or player. So just never being complacent is what I would say to any person in my position. Just always continue to work and work and work.
You just talked about something else that was interesting a few sentences ago, and that was about the mental health aspect. So many fans don't know about that. We can watch you guys perform on the court and these different things, but we don't even see really what happens on the practice court or even outside of basketball. What led you to decide to add that into your arsenal? Why did you decide to go add the mental health aspect?
Yeah, I think moving from a mid-major school in St. Mary's and then going high major in Iowa State, there's a lot more eyes on you. So with
Mhm.
more eyes comes a lot more pressure, and then playing in those big games, there's a lot of more people that are going to talk about you or have their
Mhm.
opinions on you. So I just think I had to take matters into my own hand on how to get stronger mentally and how to take some of the pressure off of my shoulders that I was feeling throughout the year. It's a couple of things that we worked on is just like deleting social media. So right now, I just have people running it for me,
Mhm.
taking things like that, and we meet like almost every 3 to 4 days. It's really been helping me so far. Um, so I just think taking that time to build yourself up and create methods to which help you in your mental space so you can perform even better on the floor.
All right, the social media part's interesting there. Once again, it's something that a lot of fans are not really knowledgeable about. Obviously, we all know there's mental health aspects that come with social media. But for an athlete, how big has it been for you to say, what, I'm going to step aside from social media and really focus in on, just myself, my own personal health and life?
I noticed myself being a lot more happier and
Mm,
more outgoing than I was because even after bad games last year, I wouldn't be the most happy with myself and kind of let my relationships around me kind of fall out with either my teammates or my family or even my girlfriend that really helps me throughout this process as well.
mm.
So just stepping away from that world because there's nothing but negativity on social media is what I found, and so just protecting myself from that has really helped me.
What's crazy about all this though is that when you talk about that jump, obviously the pressure is upon you, much more eyes, but you were extremely successful amongst all that stuff going on. You talk about a guy, and realistically, you move up from mid major to high major. Obviously, St. Mary's I'd consider is more of a high level type school, but still, you go to the Big 12 conference. You're an all conference player. You're a guy that has better stat line there than you had your sophomore season. How were you able to do that? How were you so successful year one at Iowa State?
Um, I think of how much the coaches believed in me. TJ is a great motivator, and then along with the coaching staff, they're going to put you in positions to succeed. And if you have a part of your game that is beneficial to the team, they're going to put it on the floor and they're going to help you achieve every one of your goals. So I think that's what it was for me last year was I just had a lot of confidence that I was playing with. So that was really it for me, and just continuing to show it every night.
You've now played 2 years with Randy Bennett, who's a great coach as well. Coach TJ, now you spend a year with. What's the similarities? What's the differences between the two of them?
Um, I say very intense, very outgoing coaches, and they pride themselves on team bonding and just team chemistry and period. So
Mhm.
just how close the groups are. I think that's what they try to preach the most. Like the tighter the group is, the better you're going to be on the floor, and you can see it in the past success. Like Randy Bennett's been to, I think, 4 to 5 NCAA straight now, and been to
Mhm.
many in the past. And then TJ has a couple Sweet 16s under his belt, Big 12 championships. So um, it's just another goal for this year's team is to get back to that Big 12 championship. But just two successful coaches, very similar, and have good relationships with both of them.
Have you noticed any differences between the two of them?
Um, Differences. I'll say TJ is more connected with our players. I'd say he spends so
Okay.
much time with us, um, talking in the locker rooms, coming talking to us while we're eating dinner because we always eat dinner with always eat breakfast. So and then he meets with us at least once every 2 to 3 weeks. So he prides himself on his player relationships, and I'm very grateful for that because if I have a great relationship with my coach, it makes me want to play even harder for you.
That makes a lot of sense because I feel like when we look at it from the outside looking in, the culture at Iowa State since he's gotten there is really different. It's a very unique culture right there, and I think the results kind of speak for themselves there. So when you elaborate on Coach TJ, him as a person outside of basketball, we obviously see him as a coach, but outside of basketball, how would you sum him up in one word?
Um, Energy.
Mm,
When we're not on the court, he's always going to hit you with a loud "What's up?" or something to get you going. If it's at 6 in the morning or if it's at dinner when we've all had 3 workouts and we're all tired, he's the same guy every single day.
mm. What would you say has been your favorite memory with Coach TJ so far?
Favorite memory of Coach TJ. Um, It's a lot to choose from. I think even though it wasn't a good game for us at all, seeing him erupt at the Kansas State game, he got a tech during that game, but we honestly just needed like some energy to get going, and then we went on a run right after that, so it really helped. But just seeing a coach that's willing to put himself out there, come out of his shell, because I think that was the only check that he had a whole year. So just seeing that he's willing to go outside of his comfort zone to make sure that we have something to fight for. It showed me a lot about who he is as a person.
Have you ever seen Coach TJ not energetic?
No, actually, he is tight shirts and all. He's always going to be energetic.
I love it. All right, so when we go back to your high school recruiting process, as I said, three-star prospect, you had some other offers on the table. Was there a second school, though, when you think back to it, that you were seriously considering, or was St. Mary's far and away the school you always were going to go to?
St. Mary's was far and away the only school I was
Okay.
going to go to during the recruiting process. Um, then when I went to the transfer process, I would say Virginia and VCU were close behind me that I
Okay.
would have went to after. Tony Bennett was obviously a great coach. And it's kind of ironic now. Ryan Odom, that was at VCU, is at Virginia now.
Right.
So I think those two would have been the top two choices I would have went to if I wasn't Iowa State, because both those are great coaches and uh, they had good seasons last year until Tony Bennett stepped down. So,
Yeah.
but VCU, they had a really good year. I'm pretty sure. So
hmm All right, so your freshman year at St. Mary's, you go there 2.2 points per game, 1.4 rebounds. You guys were very successful as a team, though. But was that first year of getting acclimated to the college ranks, was that difficult for yourself not having a lot of minutes opportunity, or how did you kind of adjust to that season?
yeah, it was very difficult going through that year. Didn't know what to expect. Didn't know what I didn't know. So, but when I wasn't playing, it didn't stop me from working on my game. Um, it discouraged me, but I didn't let it stop me from working when
Mm,
people weren't looking. But there was a couple times where my number was called, and tried my best to make an impact on the game in any way I can. Very thankful for those 2 years that I had there. My freshman year, I learned a lot. Um, got so much better defensively from that program as well. So I think that's one of the big parts of my game. So just honestly, just a lot to thank for them.
For a lot of guys in today's transfer portal era, you don't get a lot of minutes your first year. Guys will enter the portal and move right away. You chose to come back for a second year then. Why was that the decision you made at that point in time?
Yeah, I didn't want the stigma to be, oh, he quit because he wasn't getting minutes his first year. I
Mm,
wanted to show everyone that I came back. Now I'm the starter. Now I'm putting up good numbers and I'm competing at a high level.
right.
So that's just really what um, committed me to stay. And then obviously just to keep getting better because I felt that I improved in the first year. So my second year, I was obviously going to take another step.
In that sophomore season, you do have a breakout season 10.2 points per game, 6.5 rebounds. You become that starter you just talked about. Was that breakout season something that you expected for yourself that year, or did you even shock yourself a little bit with how that year went?
Yeah, that's pretty much how I expected myself. Wish I shot the
Okay,
ball from three a little better, but
sure.
it was great. Up until I got hurt, was kind of irritated with that, but
Right.
we had a really good team. I think we could have went far if I was healthy, but yeah, it was just great year, learning year, putting more on my shoulders. So learning to take more responsibility with that team, and it was fun.
I have to ask about the knee injury then. Obviously, end up ending your season early there. When you have to go through that, a long recovery process, how did you get through that time in life?
Um, just keeping my close relationships with me. My family helped a ton. My girlfriend helped a ton. Basically took care of me while I was bed resting for like 6 weeks.
Right.
Because really I couldn't walk. I had to adjust to a scooter to move around. So she kept me fed. So she's been such a huge supporter in me and my journey. And then obviously my family as well. They helped me get back going. And then I was still recovering from my knee surgery by the time I got to Iowa State, and they took my recovery very seriously,
Mm.
making sure I'm getting the right type of treatment. The underwater treadmill helped me a ton, just getting the mechanics back to running. So, and they took their time with me. So I think I got back right pretty good, and then helped me to have a good junior year.
All right. So when you're going through that transfer portal process and you have this knee injury, I'm sure that was obviously an interesting predicament that you had to go through at that point in time. So we already kind of talked about the fact that you have Virginia, VCU, were kind of the schools in the mix right there for yourself. But what is the transfer portal process like in today's world when you have all the different schools wanting to get you, you have NIL involved, all the different aspects involved? What is the transfer portal in this time of life like?
Um, I think to sum it up in one word, it would be chaos.
Yeah.
Because it's basically your whole recruiting period that in your high school years into like 1 month. So you have to get these visits in quick. You have to keep answering phone calls, and then you have to decide pretty soon where you want to go because you don't want your spot to get taken.
Hmm.
And then also NIL is a big stuff, so you have to negotiate that. Um, but I think that Iowa State made it pretty clear for me and what my role would be coming into the team and how they see me fitting in. So it was just the best option for me and to be able to win and also showcase my talents.
All right. So you get to Iowa State at that point in time. When you were going through knee injury and you're talking with Coach Otts, what your plans are for the season, did he expect you to have as good of a year as you had, or did that even maybe shock him a little bit in that regard?
I think it shocked him a little bit when we
Okay.
were talking constantly. He was always like, I knew you were good, but I really didn't know you could do all of this. Like, he was really surprised with my playmaking skills because at St. Mary's, I don't think I was able to show as much as I was able to at Iowa
Mhm.
State. So, a couple of my playmaking dribbling really shocked him. And so it encouraged him to be comfortable putting the ball in my hands more and more as the season went on.
When you look at this last season, you guys finished with 25-10 record. You guys obviously ended up losing the second round of the NCAA tournament, but that year overall was phenomenal for you guys. You had a lot of great season, really great season, especially being in the Big 12. What was your favorite memory though from last year?
Favorite memory from last year? I think the one at Iowa City uh,
Mm.
was our one of our first few road games, and then obviously that's a big rivalry between the two schools. And I had a pretty good game, and we came out with the win in a hostile environment. So it's always good to win in that place. So hopefully we get another one at home this year.
All right. When you talk about the Big 12, it's regarded as one of, if not the best basketball conference. I'd say when you look at the past 5, 6 years, it's been the best conference without a doubt. SEC was really good, obviously, last year, but you're a part of this conference where you're looking at team after team that's going to be competing for national championships. What is it like being a part of that conference?
Um, I would say pressure because there's
Mm.
always pressure on you to win every single night. That's something that I learned this season when either you're on the road to West Virginia, Oklahoma State, even though they don't have the best in conference record, you still can't take them lightly or you're going to lose. So
Right.
I think that's the biggest takeaway that I've learned from my first year in the Big 12. And then carrying on to this year is just coming out with the energy and intensity like, okay, we got to step on these dudes right away because we don't want them to stick around. So that
Mm.
would be something I'm taking into this year. But just just a great conference all around. So many good teams, and a lot of respect to the coaches and players that come through this conference.
There are some crazy atmospheres in the Big 12. Which one is your favorite one to go to?
Favorite one to go to. I liked playing in Arizona, and I'm excited to go there this year and get that one back. Um, Even though I didn't play this game, but BYU is an incredible place to play.
Yeah.
So that'll be a big game. Um, sure, a lot of eyes will be on that game once that game comes. So I say those are the top two that really catch my eye on this year's schedule.
How do you balance the travel aspect? Because that has been something that's new with the Big 12. You know, you have teams all the way out in Florida. You guys got guys in Arizona. Obviously, you guys are more central located, so it's not as crazy as if you were UCF or West Virginia, but still, traveling can be kind of hectic. How do you
Mhm.
balance life, academics, and basketball in the midst of that?
Um, just trying to be proactive with my schoolwork, getting stuff done, so I'm not at risk of having to email a teacher late saying, "Can
Mm,
I turn this in?" So just being proactive there, getting my work done early, and then just trying to rehab with my body as well as I can. If I got to do Norma Tech on the flight, something I got to do. This year, I'm trying to be more like uh, conscious of what I'm putting into my body, taking my diet real serious this year. So just a couple little things I'm changing, but as far as traveling goes, yeah, just trying to keep your body right, make sure you're getting a lot of sleep, a lot of water.
all right. When would you say start to feel healthy? Because I know we just talked about your knee injury and everything happening there. When did you feel like, your confidence was back, the movement was right? Like, when did you feel like you were back to being Joshua Jefferson?
Um, I still didn't think I was quite there this past year.
Okay.
Kind of dealt with the groin injury throughout this past season. Had to get a cortisone shot that helped me with that injury, but then started lingering. But just dealing with that throughout the year and then playing through it and still playing hard. So I think this year I'm going to be able to get back to who I really truly think I am.
Mm,
Uh, quick, explosive type of guy. I'm not the most explosive, but I think I'll be quicker
right.
this year than I was last year. So yeah, that's what I'm working towards right now. Just getting my body right and continuing to work every day.
That's pretty interesting news right there because you're coming off, I said, second team all conference, one of the best conferences in America. 13 points a game, 7.4 rebounds, 3.1 assists, 2.1 steals. And you said you weren't even at 100%. So, what can we expect for you this upcoming year then? What version of Joshua Jefferson, what's this healthy version going to look like this upcoming season?
Um, First, I just want to talk about the leadership aspect. So bigger role, so that's going to require me to be more vocal.
Right.
Um, but on the floor, I think my shots improved. So taking more threes, being confident in that shot, and just being a big time playmaker for this team, and always on attack to the rim. So and continue to rebound the ball. Want to be even better rebounder than I was this year. Hopefully, average 8 or more this year. So I think that's what you can expect out of me this year. Just a more assertive offensive player.
I also want to ask about something. It was right when you guys got eliminated. There was a scene you're being interviewed after the game, and you're obviously crying out there. And I want to ask about that aspect because it goes back to that winning nature about yourself, as well as that leadership role. I know this playing for Iowa State means a lot to you. When you talk about embracing that leadership role and embracing where you represent the entire fan base, how much does it mean to you to be that leader and represent Iowa State?
A ton. At that moment, I kind of felt like I let the fans down. They put so much time and energy and money and love into us. So just losing in the second round when the team before us went to the Sweet 16, I kind
Mm,
of felt like I failed in a way and made me say right away that I'm coming back for the next year and
mm.
try to make this right because I didn't think getting out in the second round was felt right at the time. So um, yeah, it was just a lot of emotion at that time for how much I love for the game and love for this school because I didn't want that feeling again this year. So I'm going to do everything in my power that it doesn't happen.
You kind of answered the question I was going to ask you next, but that is, you already kind of knew that you'd say at that point in time that you're going to come back to Iowa State.
Yeah, for sure. Because
Okay.
our coaches really put a lot into me, and I think this is the closest I've been with a coaching staff in my college career. So
Mm,
just how much respect I have for those guys, and then who we had also coming back with Taman and Milan and Nate and
right.
Kelderman. So real cool with those guys, and then it was just an environment I wanted to be a part of.
Now, we know that college scene is very interesting. I know there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind closed doors, and there was a report that came out, and I don't know if it's exactly a report, but at least rumors came out that at least one SEC school tried to take you from the portal, and we're going to offer you a package of about 2.5 million. Obviously, you decided to come back to Iowa State. When you go through those processes, are you the one typically managing all those aspects? Do you have agents, or how do you kind of deal with this entire new era of college basketball in that regard?
Yeah, that one kind of came as a surprise. I wasn't really involved in any of those talks, or so really it's just rumors out there in the work in the open, just talking about him. So I was just trying to work on rehabbing my way back into
Right.
shape. So yeah, it was just a crazy time during that week or so.
So when you go through this, would you say all along then you knew Iowa State was going to happen? There was no chance you ever moving on, no matter what.
Um, Obviously, you have to make what's decision that's right for your family, but I
Right.
think Iowa State was the correct decision for me to just come back, and I knew they would take care of me on all fronts, and I was more concerned about the next steps. As right now, NIL money is good, but it's not life changing money at this point. So I was
Mhm.
just looking who's going to give me the best shot to get to the next level, which is the NBA. So I thought the coaches here could do that for me.
I love that mindset. So many guys, and obviously, I won't always blame them. That could be a large more amount of money right there. But your mindset being, you know what, I want the NBA, and obviously, NBA money is going to be more than that for the most part. When you talk about that mindset, who established that in you? Who established that nature of saying, you know what, I see the bigger picture. Right now is cool. I'll take whatever money it is. It's obviously huge for myself, but I want the long term goal.
Really, just the people in my circle. Because you think about what else is out there, but you know that you want to build a life for your family and years to come to be financially free is the goal of mine. So um, just continue to work with what you have and not chasing money. It's not might not work out well for you. You
Mm.
see it happen in the past with a couple players. They leave their school and go chase more money, and it doesn't work out for them, and they have a bad year. And I just didn't want that for myself. It's because I have bigger dreams after this.
The other unique part I want to ask you about, last part about the NIL regard is when you come into the scene for college, you're part of this entire change of culture. You go from the transfer portal is big now, you go to NIL, and now even starting on July 1st, the share revenue is now in play. When you talk about being a part of all these different aspects, and it's now in a sense become a lot more like a business, it's closer to pro basketball than it was ever before. Is that something that's been difficult to adjust to, or how have you got acclimated to this new era of college sports?
Yeah, I think it's the world is ever changing around this topic, but I pride myself on close relationships, so I try not to make it feel like business and more like a family oriented thing. But through this whole thing, it helps me just be close with my coaches and my teammates, knowing that they have my back. So that's really all I have to say on that because the business is coming. I don't think that world is too uh, fun to be a part of when it's not in your favor. So being in college, it's kind of a different dynamic to where you can kind of choose where you want to go because these coaches have real love for you, all their players.
Right. All right, well, let's head into what's going to happen this upcoming season. You've already talked about the roster a few different times, but this roster is great. Obviously, you guys do lost Keyshawn, Curtis, a couple of different great players on that team, but you guys get yourself back. Milan, Blake is a good transfer coming in. Taman's obviously a massive addition. This is a team that I know it's way too early, but, top 25 is almost a lock, I'd say. Top 15, top 10, you guys are definitely in that discussion right there. How special do you think this year's Iowa State Cyclones team can be?
Very special. I think up there with some of the best because what I've seen in practice right now is a lot of energy.
Mm.
Our new fives are really impressing me with their speed and how fast they're picking up their terms and defense, and then our freshmen are really talented as well. So I'm happy on all fronts when it comes to this team, and I think we're going to surprise a lot of people.
All right, so you talk about this roster. You've seen it already a little bit. Obviously, you haven't got the training camp yet, but you see this roster at this point in the offseason. You've been a part of a really good Iowa State team last year, some really good St. Mary's teams. Where does this team compare to the other teams you've been a part of in your career?
I think it's up there for sure. One
Okay.
of definitely up there. Again, just from the leadership is really not one thing that we have on the team. We have guys that can go get a bucket for themselves, guys that can defend with the best of them, and then high level playmakers like myself and Taman who will take care of that front. So I think there's not a hole that we don't have. I think it's just going to be of how hard we fight every night and come ready to play.
Obviously, the depth is certainly there. I'll ask you that right after this question. But, the top three guys in terms of you, Taman, and obviously Milan being guys that return, that know the culture, that know everything there. On paper, you guys are obviously great players as well. When you talk about you three, the bond you guys have, and being able to go lead this team and kind of be, in a sense, be the face of this team this year, is that pressure? And also, how special as a big three, in a sense, could you guys be this year?
I think we'd be real special. We all play off each other really well.
Yeah.
Because Milan, as great as he is, he's still a willing passer at the end of the day as well.
Hmm.
Taman is always coming for people's necks, and then I'm just trying to help everyone eat, and then also go score as much as I can. So I think we can be a really good trio this year, and then see how far it takes us.
In terms of the bench, that's where a lot more changes kind of come. No, there's some returns as well, because adding guys like Blake, a few different freshmen as well. From the new guys coming into the team, how do they look so far, and who's impressed you so far on this team that people maybe aren't giving enough attention to right now?
Honestly, all of our newcomer freshmen and transfers, Blake Buchanan, Eric Mulder, Dom Nelson, they've been really impressive. Just real active on ball screens and defensively. And Dom Nelson's, he's already shooting the ball better than he did last season in college. And then again with our freshmen, they're some of the best defenders I've seen out of freshmen in a
Mm.
while, at least with my own two eyes. They're constantly competing with Taman. So there's not a big drop when we go to our bench this year. I think people will be proud of coming in and watching these games.
Can you expand a little bit on Taman? He's a man that I think has every right to be called the best point guard in the country this upcoming year. Obviously, if not the best, he's right up there in the top group. How special of a player is he?
Taman's truly remarkable. Just seeing the stuff he does in practice, and then seeing how dedicated he is to keeping care of his body. I think last year wasn't good representation because he was literally banged up all year. It's just something he
Yep.
couldn't control. But coming to this year, he's been really good in practice so far, shooting the ball really well is what I've noticed, and just being a more asserting himself offensively more. So I think that people can expect big things from him this year, and then obviously a lot of big time matchups this year. We have a non-conference against Purdue, and they have a really good point guard as well. So I'll be excited to see how that goes up, as he's been called one of the top point guards as well. So
Hmm.
excited for that matchup.
All right, so I have to ask you, Josh, when you look at this upcoming season, if I were to ask you what your top 5 goals, whether that be personal, team, combination, whatever it is, what are your 5 biggest goals for this upcoming season?
Um, I'll say winning a natty,
Hmm.
winning Big 12 tournament, Big 12 conference, and then Big 12 player of the year. And then my fifth one, just being a great leader for these freshmen and these newcomers. That's something I'm trying to take a step in, being more vocal. So I say those are my top 5 things that I want to accomplish this year.
When we go back to the Big 12 topic, we talk about some of the top teams and those different things as well, but who is a player you'd like matching up against? Obviously, there's going to be some changes in the conference this year, but is there someone that you look at, you kind of like, okay, that's the guy that I'm excited to go up against?
Um, I would say so. There's a couple good freshmen that I've heard a lot about, so it'd be
Hmm.
good to see what they're about. A lot of the front court players, I think, either graduated, um, transferred out. So I
Yeah.
need to get a good look for who else is in the conference right now. But I'm really just excited to get to everybody, show everybody who I am.
All right. Well, we talked about it briefly a little bit ago as well, and that's in regards to the NBA talk. Obviously, you're going to come back playing this year, but it's going to be your final year of college basketball. I know you said your main goal is NBA. When you talk about that, what's the improvements, the areas that you want to grow in to prove yourself and say, you know what, I'm ready for that NBA jump? What are those things going to be?
Shooting the ball with a lot of confidence, upping my percentage, upping my volume as well, getting my assist to turnover ratio to a good number, and then just being versatile defensively. I think that's what um, is the biggest thing that can work for you in today's NBA is if you can shoot the ball and if you can defend
Hmm.
um, at a high level. So just trying to guard 1 through 5. I think I showed what I can do this past year. So just doing that at even higher level this year. So
All right. Well, Joshua, I got a couple of questions before I let you go. One of which is and something that's not even on topic about basketball, but it's about your faith. And I know you're also a believer. So I have to ask you this one question. Joshua 1:9, that's the verse you have in your both Instagram and X bio. For For those that are not familiar with the verse, it says, "Have I not commanded you, be strong and courageous, do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." Why is that the verse that you obviously like a lot to where you want to go put in your Instagram and social media bios?
Um, One for it being my name, but uh,
Right.
my brother years ago, I can't remember how old I was, but he wrote it down and he put it and he gave it to me, and then it's been on my door, and it's still there till this day.
Mm,
Just for a quote that I try to live by: that God is always with you, and always just keeping that faith. Like, it may not be how you want it right now, but He has a plan for you to prosper beyond the ways you can see. So I always
mhm.
just try to have the most amount of faith that I can, as because sometimes I get hard on myself. But you just got to remind yourself that there's a lot of other people that wish they were in your shoes as well. So just
Right.
being thankful and being grateful for everything that you have in your life.
All right. So, where's the biggest moment you would say you've seen God show up and carry out that verse in your life?
Um, Really, just throughout this college experience, like every single year, I've had to deal with adversity, and He's
Mm,
always kept me um, happy and in peace, and like knowing that everything's going to be okay.
right.
Try to pray every single day. Going through my freshman year, having adversity, not playing. My sophomore year, um, going through that injury, season ending, and then my junior year, not meeting the expectations that I had for myself and the team. So He's really helped me through this whole career, and just real grateful that I have someone that I can call on and pray to, and just be grateful for who I am and love who I am as well.
I love that. Well, Josh, I got one final question for you, man. And that's the question I like wrapping up every interview with is talking about a legacy. When you're done at Iowa State at the end of this year, and then even the greater scheme of things, when you move away from basketball someday down the road, what do you want to be remembered for what you have accomplished both on and off the court?
I want to be remembered as somebody that gave their all to everything they do. Um, Someone that is just going to work as hard as they can and not really take any days off or take a shortcut.
Hmm.
Uh, that's kind of what I pride myself on right now. And then hopefully people get that same feeling when they watch me play. Like, okay, this guy plays really hard. Like, he may not make every single play, might not be perfect, but you can see the effort that he plays with and the intensity that he plays with as well.
I love that. Well, Josh, I appreciate you so much for taking time to come on in, man. It's been a blessing having you back on here, and I cannot wait to see what God's got in store for you this year, man.
Thank you so much for having me again. It was an honor being on here and talking with you.
Of course, you're always welcome on, man. God bless.
God bless.
I appreciate you guys all for tuning into the interview. I'll have it clipped up, edited out, and then posted on my YouTube channel in just like about an hour or so. But with that being said, I'll be back live tomorrow in the evening. I should be about 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. I'll officially announce that time tomorrow. But may God bless you guys all. Have a phenomenal, blessed rest of you guys Wednesday. I will see you guys tomorrow. God bless you guys, and SchuZ is out.